Welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and this season we'll meet leaders with connections to Girl Scouts serving in our community and beyond. Together, we'll hear stories from Girl Scout alum and their adult supporters who are making the world a better place using their courage, confidence, and character. This is the Make the World a Better Place podcast. Welcome back to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and I'm here with a special guest, Liz Vaughn. She is a Girl Scout leader as well as the Deputy Director for the City of Chesapeake's Communications Department. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you so much for having me, Shanice. I'm glad to be here.
You have a long history with Girl Scouts. In fact, you used to be a staff member on our team here, and now you're continuing to use your talents with your own daughter as a volunteer. Can you talk a bit about your time as a Girl Scout, along with why you decided to become a volunteer and keep that legacy going?
Yeah, sure. So I started as a daisy, started right off in kindergarten and went all the way through 12th grade. I loved Girl Scouts. It was always a space where I had some really close friends. We did fun things. I always felt comfortable. It was a very positive experience for me growing up. I have always been somebody who wants to promote female empowerment. I'm very girl power, and there really is no better way to do that than being involved in Girl Scouts. Girl Scouting, the Girl Scouts Council of Colonial Coast was my first job out of college. It was my first big girl job. And I was actually looking to volunteer at my home in New Jersey, and somehow came upon a job that sounded absolutely perfect for me down here in Virginia. So I packed my car, moved down here, and got this job. And it was the best way to introduce me to Hampton Roads and kind of start off my adult life. It was really a great way to get started in the workforce. And I knew that as soon as I had a kid, first of all, it had better be a girl, and thank goodness it was. And as long as I did have a girl, I was going to get her into Girl Scouts. And so we did that as soon as she was old enough in kindergarten. And we are in year 2 now with our troop.
I love that you had such a great experience. You stayed connected as a young professional. And then as a parent, you're like, I've got to keep this legacy going. So what were some of your favorite activities, or what do you like to do with your troop now? Some of the same things you did?
So my favorite memories of being a Girl Scout was all the unstructured time. You know, it was camping and us just being silly in the woods, you know, completely unstructured, doing our own thing, making our own choices, really building on those friendships. Those were my favorite times. We haven't gotten into camping yet. I am very lucky that a lot of the moms in my troop are going to be able to help me with that, because I can't say that I am an avid camper myself. I'm going to need some help on that. But my favorite activities to do with them now are truly the unstructured things. When I get to see their cute little personalities and they get to kind of choose their own direction. You know, I got some girls over here playing animal charades. I got some girls over here doing art. I love the moments where they get to just kind of be whoever they need to be that day.
I can appreciate that you're encouraging a space where they can find their own interests and be themselves and grow, but still have that sisterhood within their troop.
Yes.
And while we're talking about troop activities, we are rolling into Girl Scout cookie season, and this is the second year your Daisy troop is going to be participating in the program. What does your troop enjoy about it? Why are you coming back for a second year?
You know, I am always excited to see that they are excited when this time of year comes around. You know, I think they really sense that they have some power to do something here, that their small actions can actually make a difference in what they get to do throughout the year. We really talk about, you know, you selling cookies means later on in the year, we get to have money not only to go do something fun, we try and split it and have a fun little trip, but we're also going to focus on something good for the community. So we're all really lucky. You know, we kind of talk about that in our meetings. We're really lucky. Not everybody is as lucky as we are. And so it's kind of our job to make sure that we help to give back in this community. And I was super surprised this year. They were so thoughtful with what they wanted to do service project wise, and we went through all these decisions. We had all the usuals, you know, like the animal shelters, the food banks, but a couple of little girls said, I want to help kids who don't have parents. And I was so blown away by that idea because it came out of nowhere. And then they all started talking, and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, there are kids without parents? You know, they were so shocked at this idea that need was there, that was what we decided on. So we're going to be supporting some foster care programs with our cookie buns.
It's amazing to see what ideas even daisies are coming up with when
Yes.
you're watering them and giving them the space to think about others and how can I give back, but I still want to have fun with my friends. And that commitment to service starts young, so this is the perfect time to start building those habits. And you touched a bit on this earlier about why you chose to become a volunteer, but for you personally, what do you find the most rewarding part of the whole thing?
Oh my gosh, you know, I gotta be a little bit selfish with it. I could be having the worst day. That hour that I spend with these girls, it's like a complete 180 in my entire life. Seeing their energy, seeing their smiles. I'm shocked every week that they still want to keep coming back. Like, I'm just so excited that they are enjoying what we're doing. That it really makes my day. And so that really gives me the energy I need to keep moving forward, because these girls require a lot of energy. They are full of energy.
So I think that it's really important that we have involved adults like you who are willing to give back their time and meet Girl Scouts where they are, and that's half of the journey. We need adult volunteers to support those activities, and I think it's so wonderful when we have troop leaders like you who are recognizing that Girl Scouts have different interests and you're just offering them as many experiences and opportunities to grow. And I just keep emphasizing the fact that this is a Daisy troop already thinking about service and entrepreneurship. It's really impactful.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about your experiences. Do you have any from your time as a Girl Scout, any skills you learned that you think helped to lead you to where you are today, that any of those skills that were a big part of your journey?
Girl Scouting for me was a lot about building confidence and preparing my mind for public service. I can remember so vividly, and I don't know if this fits in with it, but it's a memory that popped up in my brain. We went rock climbing as Girl Scouts. I couldn't do it. I could barely get off the ground. And I remember that what was in my mind as a failure. But then I remember an hour later sitting around the campfire with my friends in this troop, and there was no judgment. There was no, it wasn't about the girls who made it to the top and the girls who couldn't get off the ground. There was nothing like that. I was given that space to fail. I was given that space to determine what I'm good at and what I need to work on. And that helped me build confidence. That helped me see where I can excel. And I really feel like I still use that today. In my job, there's a lot of things I'm asked to do that's really hard. And, fear of failure doesn't enter my mind, because at the end of the day, you have a job to do. And I'm the one being asked to do it. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give myself space to not always hit the mark, but learn something from that.
That's really profound. I mean, at any stage of life, we'll find you're not always going to excel at every task you try the very first time. You may not like every task or activity you're given. You try it, you learn from it, and then you know more about yourself at the end. And even up to an adult in your career, you'll find that you're just maybe not good at everything. You don't like everything, but you try it anyways and you keep going.
The cool thing about being a Girl Scout volunteer now is you better believe I'm taking my troop rock climbing, and I am going to try it again, and I'm going to do better this time. And I do also love that part about volunteering is that it really opens up a lot of opportunity for me. I'm getting to do all this fun, cool stuff right alongside the girls. So, it's fun for the adults just as it is for the girls.
It is really exciting to see adults out there genuinely having a good time and trying new things sometimes that they've never tried before.
Yes.
So it's a place for everybody to grow. I'm glad to hear you're still growing with Girl Scouts. Are you able to talk about a challenge you faced at some point in your life or on your journey to your career that you have now, and maybe how your background with Girl Scouts helped you overcome that?
I kind of harken back to that, rock climbing story and that building of confidence. I think I, like so many other women, have often struggled with, not having enough confidence, that imposter syndrome, the feeling the need to shrink yourself in order to make other people comfortable. And while I might have felt that in the other activities that I did growing up, I was also in sports, and there was a lot of, fitting in you had to do there, and in school, a lot of fitting in you had to do. I never felt that in Girl Scouts. It was such a safe space for me, and it is so important for me to build that for these girls now. I mean, not just for my daughter, but especially for my daughter, to make sure that she has that space to be literally whoever she needs to be that day. I think is really important, and I continue to use that in my job today. I'm a supervisor. I want my people to feel comfortable when they come to work. I often have to do things like go on camera or speak to the media, and that stuff takes a lot of confidence and it takes a lot of practice, and I think the value of Girl Scouts showing me that I belong here, I can do this, and I deserve to take up this space has really led me to where I am.
That's beautiful. When we're thinking about empowering young women, you touched on this a little bit, especially in fields like communication, where you may be in front of a camera or you may have a speaking engagement. Any advice for Girl Scouts or youth considering a similar path, or how do you find that confidence within yourself?
Well, I think you need to explore all of the options available. There's so many outlets that you could go into when it comes to anything communications. I think you should explore your options. I think you should reach out to people who are currently in the field. I would highly encourage any girl who is interested to reach out to me to learn a little bit more about the path that I took. But there's so many different paths to take, so you really got to explore your options.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, that was Liz Vaughn. Liz, thank you so much for joining us to share a bit about your experience as a Girl Scout, how you're giving back, and your amazing career with the city of Chesapeake.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. For more episodes like these, visit our website at www.gsccc.org